All right, it's that time to get into the world of business right here on Smooth 98.1. The Smooth Breakfast is what you are listening to on a Monday morning. Yes, a money-making Monday morning. And what better time to talk about what's going on in the business world than right now? Welcome along to another 15-minute ride with us this morning, brought to you by InterSwitch. My name is Ayokunmi. Great to have you on the show this morning. Joining me to have a conversation that we need to take a look at. Now we're looking at Nigeria's inflation slowdown. Is it permanent or is it a temporary thing that we're seeing? Is it fleeting? As some people tend to say. Anyways, we'll be unpacking that this morning. And just to give you a couple of the numbers, really, looking at how inflation in Nigeria is decelerating year on year. Now, headline slowed to 23.71% in April from 24.23% in March. Now, month on month, it eased to 1.86% in April from 3.9% in March. Now, for food inflation, year on year slowed to 21.16% in April from 21.79% in March. Now, month on month, it slowed to 2.06% in April from 2.18% in March. Now, joining me to take a look at these numbers and kind of make sense of it all and see where exactly it is we're going to is Bala Augie. He is the editor and partner at financial publication MoneyCentral. Good morning to you, Bala. Great to have you on the show once again.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Hope you're doing good. You had a great weekend. I'm ready to
Yeah, of
tackle
course.
the week ahead.
Yeah, of course.
Can keep up with us and let us know your thoughts on the issues this morning. Send a message on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981 0809 444 That is the WhatsApp number. You can also keep up with us on YouTube as well. Yes, we're streaming live at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Okay, Bala, real quick off the bat here, what do you make of the deceleration in the inflationary numbers that we've seen in Nigeria in the last 1 to 2 months or thereabouts?
Yeah, basically the moderation in inflation rate that we've been seeing is majorly driven by relative stability in foreign exchange and relative stability in transportation costs, which has seen the price of food reduce, price of foodstuffs such as yam, corn, and what have you reduce. So basically, it's all boiled down to the moderation, all boiled down to relative stability in foreign exchange market that we've seen in a couple of months, and stability in transportation costs.
Okay, interesting perspective. Now, with that being said, the stability we've seen in those different areas that has led to the, should I say, deceleration here, do you think it'll be a sustained trend, or is it something that will just be temporary?
Yeah, the sustainability of the moderation hinges on the price of crude oil. I mean, if the price of crude oil continues to fall right at the global market, then we're going to see more stability in transportation costs because you and I know that transportation cost is tied to the price of crude oil, global price of oil, and again, it could be sustained due to the rainy season. Rainy season is the harvest period. So
Mm.
we'll probably see a further moderation in inflation as the rainy season kickstarts and probably stability in the war zone farming areas in the north. If there's peace in the north, if farmers are able to go to the farm and we have sustained rainy season, then I see moderation in inflation rate in a couple of months coming.
Okay, now we've talked about should I say a sustained should I say a kind of balance in transportation cost and some other things there. Now we know in Nigeria generally when things tend to go up, we have this should I say this idea it hardly ever goes down. Now, is there a possibility? Is there a chance that some of these things could still go down even further, transportation cost and so on and so forth, which in then will further accelerate, or should I say, would further push the deceleration of the inflation rates? Is that a possibility at some point?
Yeah, I think I'm optimistic, and my optimism is driven by the liberalization of the downstream sector. Because if you look at transportation costs, it's all tied down to the price of PMS. So lately, we've been seeing slight reduction in the price of PMS, right,
Mm,
from Dangote refinery. So I think the inflation is going to come down, basically going for price of food will come down going forward if we see further reduction in the price of PMS, basically. And that hinges on, the ability of government to create an enabling environment in the downstream sector if we have more players, more competition in the downstream sector. Because what we have now is a kind of one-man business whereby Dangote determines the price of PMS. But so we need more players to come in. So more competition will lead to reduction in the price of PMS, which is basically from one of the major reasons why we are seeing inflation rise. And again, if you look at investors are gradually having confidence in the bold reforms of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and that could pretty much bring more stability in the foreign exchange market.
mm. Well, when we talk about investors, what exactly do these numbers mean for them, especially in the fixed income and in the money market space?
Yeah, in the fixed income space, because you know that the price of your bond yield basically, that is a bond yield is a function of two variables. That's the interest rate and inflation rate. So if inflation is falling, for instance, it reduces the bond yield, and that makes the naira asset more attractive. That reduces the cost of financing for companies. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think it's a good thing. Investors look at inflation rate as it affects interest rate, because lower inflation brings about lower interest rate, and lower interest rate is good for the economy. Lower interest rate stabilizes the economy.
Oh, yes, indeed. Now that is something that we've been pushing for. Well, but I mean, looking away from investors, I mean, we're in the studio here talking about these numbers and trying to make sense of them. But what do they mean for the average Nigerian out there who's just trying to get by, who's going to get up this morning to go to his shop or her food stand and so on and so forth? What do these numbers actually mean to the average Nigerian out there?
Yeah, of course, it means a lot to the average Nigeria out there, because let me give you an example now. As it is now, some Nigerians are happy that the price of rice, the bag of rice, the price has fallen. For
Hmm,
instance, Nigerians are happy that, even a bag of rice has come down to like 60K, 55K. So it helps it helps Nigerians plan, it helps, it aids planning. It makes them save more money, right? So when the price of foodstuffs are coming down, inflation is easing, Nigerians will have more money in their pockets, and that will ease the pain of the economic hardship that we are seeing at the moment.
hmm.
Aid the economic hardship.
Okay, interesting. Now, looking at the current numbers and looking at the fact that we have a deceleration in the inflationary rates, do you, from your perspective, do you expect the CBN's Monetary Policy Committee to actually remain hawkish with these figures right now, or will they have a change in their stance? What do you think?
Yeah, in the near term, because the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank will be sitting in a couple of weeks, and so I expect them to retain the monetary policy rate at the 27.5%. So they're going to retain it. But going forward, if inflation continues to moderate, then the central bank could adopt a dovish stand. If inflation continues to moderate, that would pave the way for the central bank to gradually reduce the monetary policy rate if inflation continues to moderate. So it could lead to the central bank adopting a dovish stance. Sorry.
Hmm. Okay, now looking at what the central bank is doing, what the Monetary Policy Committee do, um, how key still is the fiscal side of things if we're going to get to where it is that we need to be in terms of our economy?
Yeah, basically the fiscal side has to complement the monetary side. That's basically in the central bank is which controls the monetary policy is all it takes to stabilize the economy. Fiscal stance will see more investment in infrastructure, right?
Right.
Government will have to invest more in infrastructure, and we're seeing the bold stand by the federal government to increase tax revenue, right? Government needs to the current government is working seriously hard to ensure that it increases the tax revenue, right, so that it has more money to fund infrastructure and stabilize the economy. So
All right.
yeah.
All right, good stuff. Okay, Bala, before we wrap up the conversation, I just want to get your thoughts on, should I say your advice really for everyone out there who is listening right now. What do you think is the best way for everyone to actually hedge against inflation in Nigeria? Just a few of those tips and tricks that you can share before we wrap up on the show this morning.
Yeah, I think personally, me personally, I think the best way to hedge against inflation is probably to save more money. You need to save for the raining day, because you and I, you agree that we live in an environment, we live in an unstable macroeconomic environment.
Mm,
Today prices are falling, tomorrow they are rising. So in such a situation, you really need to save. That's just my simple advice for Nigerians there. Save whatever you have for just save for the raining day.
All right, Bala says save for the rainy day. That is his own perspective on the matter. All right, let me take a message as we end the show this morning. Gilbert Musa in Festac says, the recent inflation figures don't mean well for the average Nigerian based on the fact that it was rebased from between 33 to 36% down to below 25%. Bala, do you want to just comment on that one before we end the show?
Yeah, I think basically, yeah, the inflation was rebased basically, but we are looking at moderation. Moderation means there's a slight improvement. You know what I'm saying? So fine, the inflation rate was rebased, right? We understand. However, we and I are saying moderation. There's moderation in transportation costs, for instance. It has moderated. It's no longer increasing, it's moderating. We are seeing a moderation in foodstuffs. Foodstuffs are no longer increasing as it used to last year or a year before the last.
Right. All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts on this issue this morning. I've been talking with Bala Augie. He is the editor and partner at MoneyCentral. Bala, thank you so much for being a part
You're
of the show this morning.
welcome. Thank you.
All right. Have a great Monday and a great
Good.
week as well.
And you too.
And all righty. And thank you for being a part of Business Express this morning, brought to you by IntoSuite here on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Keep it tuned. The Smooth Breakfast will continue. I'm going to keep you in a good mood with great music as we get to 7:30 to take a look at the stories in the papers on Freshly Pressed.